Welcome to the JetsSetters video blog series. This is our season preview. All right, Tyson, here we are. 1 week before regular season football, one preseason game to go. But before we get into the Jets offense and defense and season preview, let's talk about the Wayne Hunter trade. What do you think?
Well, I think Tannenbaum finally ate some crow. I mean, the fact that they guaranteed Wayne Hunter's money this year after a horrible season last year was a mistake. So I think they tried to correct their mistake, but they're basically getting another bust from another team. So the salaries are the same. So it could be like a case of, Jason Smith comes here and it's a new coaching, new attitude, clean slate. He could do something. In my eyes, I think it's still an issue because Austin Howard's unproven. You're entering the season with a right tackle. It's either Jason Smith, who's underachieved, or Austin Howard, who's never played before, against Mario Williams. So they got rid of Wayne Hunter because they had to, because the fans are after him and they were trying to protect him and everything else. So they had to do it. But we'll see what happens. I mean,
maybe the Bills will be good sportsmen and not line them right up.
Yeah, right.
And just have them team up against Brick.
Right. That's what's going to happen. So well, I mean, it's just so the final answer is it's two busts. I mean, it's Wayne Hunter. They had to get rid of him. The Rams wanted to get rid of Jason Smith, and there you are.
All right. So another interesting tidbit this week was the Redskins released their longtime tight end Chris Cooley. Do you think he could be a fit for the Jets?
He's a great fit for the Jets. That's why they won't get him. He's a good blocking tight end. He's a great receiver out of the backfield. He does a lot of various roles. But honestly, I don't think he'd want to come to the Jets because they don't have a passing offense. A ground and pound with Dustin Keller there, I don't see where Chris Cooley could see his role. I mean, if they would go two tight end sets, but I think it's too late in the year to do that. So if I was Chris Cooley personally, I wouldn't come here. I mean, let's be honest. He's probably going to go to Patriots. They already have 5 tight ends anyway.
Yeah, they can use another one.
Yeah, so I mean, it'd be a great fit, but I don't see it happening.
All right, well, I think one of the biggest concerns, we were both at the game, and we saw some missed calls right in front of us.
Brutal.
And we're amateurs.
Yeah.
What do you think about the refs
amateurs
going? What do you think about the refs going into the season?
The NFL is a billion-dollar industry. They always they preach integrity. They preach player safety. They preach all these things, and you're going to enter the season with replacement officials, which is going to risk the players. I mean, you're going to jeopardize players' health. You're going to jeopardize a variety of things over money. It all comes down to money, and it's a billion-dollar industry. So I think it's I want to curse here, but it's garbage. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's going to take away from the sport. If you imagine a team like whoever, the Jets, whoever else, you lose a game because of a blown call, that game come haunt you week 15, week 16, especially playing the Bills, division rival, conference game. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I think the thing that's lost with the refs are game flow. We all know that one drop pass or that one pass interference that turns a 3rd and 12 and going into a punt, into a first and 10 on the 50, a drive continuer. I mean, the complexity
even
of the game
spotting the ball. We saw them last week trying to spot the ball. They're moving the chains. They're slow with that. It takes away from the flow. There's holding calls they're missing, which, I mean, everybody misses them, but there's some things they're really missing that can take away from the game. It takes away from a drive, momentum. It's such a joke. It's really ridiculous. But
I mean, for the gamblers out there, let's be realistic. The average NFL game was decided by 3 points last year.
Yep.
I guarantee you a blown call is worth 3 points a game.
Absolutely. You know what's going to happen is it's going to be a focus, too, because then it's going to be excuses built in. Let's keep in mind, when teams lose, this can cause coaches their jobs. It can cause players their positions. It can cause, you lose on a bad call. Look at way back when the Jets beat Seattle. Dennis Erickson lost his job when Testaverde was supposedly in the end zone when he was nowhere near it. These calls happen all the time, so I just think it's horrible.
All right, so let's talk about the offense.
What offense?
Once again, the offense struggled. Going into 3 games, no touchdowns scored. Do you think that's a big deal, or do you think it's being made too much of?
I think it's awful. I mean, you look at teams across the NFL; they're all putting up numbers: 20 points, 24 points, whatever else. We can't score a touchdown in 3 games, and we're not even close. I mean, Stephen Hill had the one chance where Tebow bounced it to him, but I mean, it's a concern because there's no flow in the offense. There's no rhythm. Dropping passes, stupid penalties. I mean, there's so many culprits and there's so many problems. So it's got to be a concern, no matter how people spin it. Especially when if you're going to keep going 3 and out over and over, your defense, which could be one of the best in the NFL, is going to be on the field way too long, and they're going to get tired, which is another trickle down effect.
We saw that last week where the defense just absolutely
is lights
shut
out.
down. Maybe one of the best quarterbacks young quarterbacks anyway, that we've seen and maybe ever in the NFL. He shuts him right down.
Yeah.
But then 3 and out, he's right back on the field.
Yep.
And,
it's not good.
They can only run so much. And, I've been hearing a lot of these NFL guys, these so-called experts, talking about, Sperano's hiding his cards. The Wildcat's going to be the answer during the season. In fact, I heard Joe Namath talking today about this very situation. Do you think the Wildcat's going to save this offense?
No. My honest answer is no. I think your offense in this day and age, you have to be able to move the ball. You have to be able to pass the ball and run the ball. The Wildcat is a gimmick. It's good in short yard situations. It's maybe good at the goal line. But if you're going to base your success on a Wildcat offense, you're going to be in for a long year. Now, they're trying to hide their cards, which is great, but let's think about it. Sperano did things with Miami. It's all on film. The Jets have done it with Brad Smith. It's on film. There's no magical Wildcat offense that's going to come out and surprise everybody and baffle defenses. You have to prepare for it, but, there's going to be no big surprises here. Tebow's going to come in, or Sanchez is going to give it the ball to him. It's not going to be a drastic impact to the offense. If anything, I think the Jets are probably getting a little desperate now, to be honest with you. Because if you're going to struggle, what defenses are going to do, they're going to stack the box and say, Mark Sanchez beat us. Beat us through the air, which I think he can do if he had receivers that can catch the ball or that can get open. Do they have those? We don't know yet. But so even if you have your Wildcat, Rex Ryan defended the Wildcat last year when they played against the Dolphins. There's film out there to defend the Wildcat. It's not like this is some brand new thing that happened yesterday. So I'm not buying any of the Wildcat spin where it's going to be like this whole big surprise, going to make the offense put up 30 points a game. I don't see any of it.
Well, there's a reason that these Heisman Trophy wishbone quarterbacks don't make it in
Listen,
the NFL.
If the Wildcat is going to be so productive, why aren't more teams doing it? Teams are going away from the running game and they're going to the passing game. What does that tell you? The Jets are the only team, and they're arrogant about it, that are so adamant about doing this ground and pound and the Wildcat. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we know the tight end position is a concern. Along with the tight end position, are there any other concerns in the offense?
The tight end position is a huge concern because you have Dustin Keller's hurt, who should be ready. Jeff Cumberland had a concussion. Josh Baker's lost for the year. Where's your tight end? So now you're going to tell me that Jason Smith, your lineman, is your blocking tight end, which is ridiculous because you used to have a threat of catching the ball. When he comes in, you're either going to run the ball or he's going to be protection. There's no threat of catching the ball at all, which is at least like Mulligan or Hartsock when he was here. At least some kind of a potential threat of going out in a route. We don't have that at all. So tight end's a huge issue right now. Other than that, right tackle, we've beaten that to death already.
Right.
And wide receiver, it's like, okay, Curley came back, which is great. Santonio came back, awesome. Stephen Hill, he showed some flashes, but these drops, it's got to be a concern at some point. I get the whole rookie jitter thing and all this other stuff, but you keep hitting, the ones are hitting him right in his hands. And we caused an interception last week. So...
Well, my dark horse for the offense this year is seeing McKnight up close and how much weight he put on, muscle. Yeah. I think he might be a dark horse. I think he might be a little bit surprised.
They're going to have to use all their resources, but receivers still, my eyes, is a major concern.
Well, we saw what Tebow can do with the ball when he's running, right? We respect the kid off the field. He's a wonderfully human. Legit. We know he can run the Wildcat. With all that said, we both know he's not an NFL quarterback. No. And I'm one of the biggest Tebow fans. I love the kid. He's not an NFL quarterback. Do you trust Mark Sanchez as your starting quarterback? Mark
Sanchez he's taking his game to another level. If you watch him last week, he showed confidence in the huddle. He had firm command of the offense. He knew the ball was going. He has all the ability to move the ball, to lead the team to victories. It's the problem is I don't think his supporting cast is where it needs to be. Now, everybody's going to say, Tyson's defending his boy Sanchez. I like Mark Sanchez. I think he's getting a raw deal here. He's been getting a raw deal here. And now you have an offensive line that had a right tackle that had a problem. They never addressed it. Your tight end's hurt. We have no backups. And the receivers, you have one proven receiver. It's not a recipe for success. It's just not. But if you're asking me about Mark Sanchez, I think he can do it. He has all the tools to do it. He has the confidence. And he's got a better offensive coordinator. So there's things positives there. But Tim Tebow's not the answer, which we all know by now. He's a running quarterback at best, but in terms of backup quarterback, Greg McElroy is your backup quarterback because he can at least effectively pass the ball. It's dreadful when he passes the ball.
That one pass last week did it for
awful, me. Awful. That was a terrible read, and he just floated out there. The one hit the cheerleader in the head. He threw over the.
Oh my goodness! Almost killed the fan.
Oh, So but to answer your question, Sanchez is the guy, and there is no quarterback controversy. All these articles, all this hype is stupid. There's one quarterback on this team, it's Sanchez, and that's it.
All right, well, let's punt. Going to defense. It appears the Jets could have one of the best, if not the best defense. We know they have the best defensive player, and some of these rookies look pretty good. What do you think about the Jets defense going into the season?
They can be one of the best in the NFL. I mean, there's no question about it. We watched them firsthand last week. They're impressive in almost every aspect of the field, from the defensive line to the linebackers to the secondary. They have playmakers everywhere. They're aggressive. They hit hard. They no question. They have the ability to be one of the best, a shutdown defense.
Well, how good can they be? Top 10, top 5?
Top 3.
Top 3?
Absolutely.
It's a bold statement.
Here's my caveat, though. If the offense can keep them off the field. If they're on the field 40 minutes a game, they're not going to be a top 3 defense. But if the offense can hold their own, time of possession is fairly reasonable, there's no question they could be a top 3 defense.
Well, as good as the defense is, are there any weaknesses? Are there any concerns?
Well, there's some concerns. I think Kyle Wilson, in my eyes, is still a concern. He's struggling a little bit. You're kind of picking at things now.
Right.
Eric Smith is hurt, so that you basically have your Jeremiah Bell and you have LaRon Landry back there with a rookie behind them. So that's kind of a concern. But to me, it's still after Cromartie and Revis, who's your nickel and your dime? It's Kyle Wilson. It could be Ellis Langster. That's still a concern in my eyes. But you're kind of splitting hairs at this point because they're loaded. Bart Scott looks fast. David Harris, he's got an ankle injury, but he still looks. They're playing the part. They've just got talent everywhere.
All right. Well, at the beginning of the season, when we started this blog series, you were really critical of the pickup of Landry.
Oh yeah, I was.
What do you feel about him now?
I'm eating so much crow right now because to see him, the way he plays the game, the way he attacks the line, his intensity, the way he hits, it's beyond impressive. If he stays healthy this entire year, he could be an all-pro safety. I'll even go that far. Rex Ryan's going to make him millions because he just stalks. He stalks the line of scrimmage waiting to hit somebody. He lays people out. He's a true enforcer, which the Jets probably have not had since Victor Green. He's an impressive guy to watch play. It's just stay healthy. If he stays healthy, and what surprised me the most is his speed. You hear about the 4.3 speed
right.
or 4.4 speed.
But he's actually in real life.
He's
impressive.
Fast in pads. It's not like this isn't track speed. This is football speed.
And on that goal line stance, when he basically heat-seek missile that running back,
he just blows things up, and he's a leader.
Impressive.
And he gets down low behind the line of scrimmage, so you can't even see where he's coming from, and then he attacks. It's very,
him
very
and Rex
impressive.
Ryan were made for each other.
It's just health. If he stays healthy, and then the Jets probably can't.
If he stays healthy,
can't afford to keep him. But
go to the Pro Bowl this year.
Oh, absolutely, no question.
All right, so we have a good idea of the offense. We have a good idea of the defense. Let's hand out preseason JetsSetter MVPs. Offense. Who are your prediction?
Offensive MVP for this year?
Yes.
Wow, this is gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna say Mark Sanchez. I think that.
Really?
I think so because there's a lot of things that have to. If the Jets have any success on offense, it's gonna be because of Mark Sanchez. You got to figure defense is gonna try to stop the run. So if they're gonna move the ball, he's got to make big plays. That's the only way they're gonna do it. Other than that, my second person probably be a guy like Dustin Keller, to be honest with you, because I think St. Tony's gonna get doubled. The Jets have to capitalize on Dustin Keller with his mismatches with linebackers and safeties.
All right, offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive rookie of the year?
Just for the Jets.
Oh, it's got to be Stephen Hill. That's the only guy. It's really. Who else would it really be?
Yeah.
That's really all you can have. But he's got a lot of pressure, man. I don't think he's ready to be number 2 receiver, but he has no choice at this point. He's got to hang on to the ball, or they're going to lose a thread of his, the deep play.
Before it said my preseason prediction for defense, LaRon Landry. I love that kid.
It's amazing. He's solid.
But who's
solid.
Yours?
Wow, that's a tough one too. I always tend to lean to a guy like David Harris because he's a guy in the middle.
He's a tackling machine.
Yeah, he's a tackling machine. LaRon Landry's another candidate. A guy like Bart Scott. It's tough because the Jets, they're so loaded on defense. A guy like Bart Scott last week was everywhere. He was going sideline to sideline.
You can see him lighter.
We haven't seen that in a long while. The other guy that could be a surprise is Cromartie. Cromartie looks like he's more in tune to the defense. He's a little more focused, which has been his bugaboo over the years, is that he plays a great game, then he has a game where he's just god-awful. So now if he stays very consistent, he could be a Pro Bowl corner as well. So my answer is I don't know. I can give you like 5 guys, but
that's a good problem to have.
It's a good finally.
Good problem to have.
Yeah.
Any rookies that you think will stand out this year?
I think Coples and Davis, they both have a chance to show some things. I mean, Coples has got. I think he led the NFL in sacks in the preseason, which doesn't mean much, but he's no Golston, that's for sure. I mean, he's getting to the quarterback, and Demario Davis has a chance too. I mean, they have the ability on defense to make some really special things happen. It's just a matter of, the offense doing their thing.
Well, there's not too much to discuss going into the 4th game. It's starters for maybe a series or 2.
They're not even
so it's just about a bunch of people trying to earn a job in the NFL. So, any thoughts going into the final game?
Nothing. Right now you're looking at guys like McElroy, Matt Sims. These are all guys just fighting for spots, the bottom end of the roster. I mean, in my eyes, this is why the NFL shouldn't charge fans to go to these games, because nobody wants to watch them. I mean, they have guys fighting their hearts out, but basically the cuts are already done. They're just basically putting on film for other teams.
Well, listening to the radio today, I heard something funny. If you want to know if you have a gambling problem, you're the type of person that'll bet on the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to watch. You're watching just to see what's going on and basically watch the sideline interviews and see what everybody else is saying, because it's not good football. It's sloppy. It's boring. It's a disaster. Well,
next time we talk, it's time for game.
Finally, man. Finally, it's been a long off season and preseason, and hopefully, maybe they'll sign the right tackle next week or so. You never know. My final prediction for the season. I guess you want that too, right? My record. I'm gonna say, even though some people in this room may want to throw things at me, I'm gonna say 7-9. I think the Jets aren't built to win in my eyes. I think the offense is a concern. I think if they struggle, it's gonna wear down the defense. They'll be on the field too long, and I don't think it's gonna be a good thing. And honestly, I think the first 3 games of the season are huge. The Buffalo game is enormous, backed up by the Steeler game. It's another big game. So you have 3 conference games followed by the Dolphins. It's a huge beginning to the Jets. They start out slow. You have the media nonsense, the Tebow nonsense. Finger point is going to happen, and it could be a long year.
Well, does Rex Ryan survive 7-9?
I don't think Tannenbaum does, to be honest with you. He shouldn't, because he helped construct this team. So, I don't want to get negative right off the bat, but if you want to be honest and realistic about things, I don't see a 10-win team here. But I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. But that's what I think, so we'll see.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you for watching another JetsSetters video blog. We want to thank our sponsor, Dead Serious Fight Gear, for making our shirts. Please check them out at deadseriousfightgear.com. Also, the L7 Tailgate, which we're at every week. We have a blast, L7tailgate.com. You can follow us on Twitter, TRauch21. On Facebook, Tyson Rauch. That's Alf. I'm Tyson. See you guys next week.